Hi guys and welcome to Back of the Internet. I am as always your humble host Jamie and this is the warm-up for Manchester United versus Everton. It's a very quick video. The reason for this is I've got a lot on today to be honest, but also I'm trying to get this done on Friday so I can upload it today, a day early before the Reds play Everton. And also I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some fellow Reds on this podcast soon. We'll have the return of Joe, but we'll also have some other guys that want to talk Manchester United, who I've reached out to on Facebook, or have been reached out to on Facebook to be part of the podcast. So very massive thank you to everybody involved with that, and that will be coming very soon. The gentleman that I want to shout out is Steven Neill. Steven Neill has spoken to a couple of guys. He's a member of Manchester United, the Religion, so please follow them. He's got some absolute quality lads that want to come on the podcast, so we'll be leaning into speaking to people from all over the world and getting them involved. So I'm really excited about that. So my apologies for a little bit of a rush video today, but also my apologies for not uploading the Southampton game. The OBS studio that I'm currently using was glitched out and needed updating. I've managed to update it, and it seems to be working again now. So that's great news. I'm hoping it's recording well. And right, let's get into it. So Manchester United versus Everton. This is going to be a pretty tough fixture for Manchester United. I genuinely think after the 9-0 drubbing of Southampton, who saw that coming, by the way, and I'm so sorry I couldn't get a video out, but let me just tell you now, I was super excited, and I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe the amount of goal scorers and how the goals were shared around the team, and it was a good team performance. Just shout out to all the Scousers that said, oh, well, you can only beat 9 men, you can only beat 10 men. We didn't make that young midfielder commit that challenge on Scott McTominay. It was a red. He deserved to get sent off. And we've struggled against teams that have been in low blocks that, 10 men will often do when they sit back and they absorb pressure and they'll try and hit you on the counter. And we tore them apart pretty much. I will say that was a goal for them, but it wouldn't have changed it anyway. I don't think it was a penalty by Bednarek, but it wouldn't have changed it anyway. And before Bednarek got sent off, we were 6-0 up. So sorry, Scousers. Keep the excuses coming. I'm loving the salt at the moment. I'm loving the banter that you believe that you're having with us, and that United are basically getting penalties and just beating 9 men and having referees on their side. Let's be honest. Your defence this year of your championship has been one of the worst, if not the worst, defences of a Premiership ever. And yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. Anyway, getting away from it. Get away from Scousers. I don't want to talk about Scousers. Fucking Scousers. Right, so tomorrow Man United play Everton. After that, we've got West Brom. We've got Newcastle, and that's where it starts to get a little bit dicey. We go and play Chelsea. We play City. And then we don't have another hard game until the 10th of April against Spurs. We need to win this game tomorrow. We need to win this game to keep us in touch with City. We need to win this game to keep moving forward, to keep up this momentum. I think we need to get these points on the board before we play City. And I if I'm honest with you, out of the Everton, West Brom and Newcastle game, we should be getting 9 points. The Chelsea game, it seems like Chelsea are now been rejuvenated under Thomas Tuchel. So it looks like that will be now a tough game. And United may have to change tact ever so slightly because we're not playing Franck anymore and his brand of football, if you can call it that. And then we go to Man City. If we could take 3 wins out of the 4 games before we play City in the 5th, that would be fantastic. Hopefully City will lose some points somewhere along the way, and then if we can beat City, I mean it is at City, but as we've seen this year with coronavirus, it doesn't really matter. Any home game could be an away game without the fans. So if we can maintain our momentum, we can get the points on the board. When we come to Manchester City and we play Manchester City, there's a very good chance that we can not only cut the points deficit if there is one at this point. But we could also get the games in line with the games in hand, so we could either be level and dependent on City's results going forward. We could we could actually be ahead of them. If we have a look at Man City's fixtures, before that they've got Liverpool, which is a very, very tough fixture for them this weekend. They then play Spurs. We know that Jose likes to frustrate teams. Kane may be back for that. They've also got Everton, Arsenal, Man City, and then they play Man United. So that's Liverpool, Spurs, Everton, Arsenal, and West Ham. Sorry, not Man City. So they've got a tougher run in than we have before we play each other on the 6th of March. So looking at that, regardless of how good Manchester City are, there's a good chance that Manchester City could drop some points here. So by the time we play each other, which is the simple way of putting it, by the time we play each other, we could be level on points. We could be ahead of them, as long as we don't drop points. So the Everton game is massive. We need to get a win here. So looking at any team news that has come out, well, Solskjaer has come out and he said that Cavani will be fit or should be fit to start against Everton. That he seemed to progress well. He's been doing well in training, and he'll be ready to come back into the first team. He'll be ready to start when we play them tomorrow. Unfortunately, we seem to have another injury concern, and this isn't unexpected, because let's be honest, Eric Bailly, as good as a centre-back as he is, he's fragile. And I've never known a player be as fragile as him in the Eric Bailly mould. And what I mean by that is Eric Bailly is a very aggressive defender. He's very buccaneering. He gets stuck in. He throws his body everywhere. But he's constantly injured. Now, I used to play as a right back. And I was one of those that wouldn't jump out of a challenge. I wouldn't shirk a challenge. There was a couple of times, especially in the last couple of seasons that I played, where I'd go in on somebody and all you'd hear from the touch lines is "eat." When I've just slid in and I took a man out. And yes, you get the odd niggle, and yes, sometimes when you're overexerting yourself and you're stretching yourself, you pick up injuries. But to be picking up these types of injuries so consistently, you have to either look at the medical staff, and I don't believe it is the medical staff, or you have to look at the player himself and whether his body's capable of playing these games. He's only played the last 1 in 4 games for Manchester United, or started 1 in 4 games for Manchester United. And that, to me, is a massive, massive red flag. We know that Harry Maguire struggles with Lindelof. We have seen them have good games with each other, but we know there's a problem when you've got Harry Maguire and Lindelof playing because of the lack of pace. You've also got the positioning isn't great. You've got Lindelof, who isn't great in the air. You've got Harry Maguire, who isn't quick enough to get back. So when you look at Manchester United's back line, you've got 2 marauding wing-backs at the moment. And Wan-Bissaka played fantastic against Southampton, and I'm hoping his form starts an upward trajectory. And you've got Luke Shaw, who is constantly bombing forward now and being a problem. And if I'm honest, and I'm a little bit reluctant to say this because the backlash I'll get from it, but Luke Shaw's looking like one of the best fullbacks in England, if not the best fullback in England at the moment. And that's quite a thing for me to say, because if anybody's seen the previous podcast or anybody knows me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Luke Shaw. I've never been the biggest fan of Luke Shaw. But Luke Shaw seems to be putting in a shift and doing what he needs to do. He's playing extremely, extremely well. And here's hoping he can keep it up. And I genuinely think it is because Telles is now pushing him for his position. Imagine if we had somebody, pushing like Wan-Bissaka at the moment. I mean, Wan-Bissaka was great the last game, but he does tend to dip, and the only person that's trying to push him is Brandon Williams. You see with Martial, we've got Cavani. You see with David De Gea, who seems to be back to his best or getting there. He's being pushed by Henderson. It's the same with the centre-backs. There's nobody's vying for that position. It is set and forget, more or less. You've got Maguire, he's there. The only one that interchanges is the person next to him, and that's usually based on injury rather than talent. And I think that's Manchester United's biggest problem at the moment, is that we don't have the strength in depth at centre-back. And it's shocking, really, because this will probably be the area that will cost us this title running. And then when we look at the likes of us playing Everton, now Everton have. I'm not going to do a watch list, but I will call out a watch player for the opposition. Everton are very good at set pieces. They've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's very, very tall, very domineering in the air. Yerry Mina, who is the gentleman that is the player that I'd pick out. Yerry Mina, I think, is great from set pieces. And you've got a Man United team that are poor from set pieces this season. We've conceded quite a lot of goals via set pieces. And we don't have a centre-back pairing that communicate well enough, that talk to each other well enough, that will command that area well enough, because one has played more minutes than any other player across Europe, and the other one is either made a Rivita or as a glass back. And, you know, it's a shame because other parts of the team are functioning really well at the moment. And the one area, one of the key areas in your team, which is your defence, especially your centre defence, that's meant to be giving protection to people like David De Gea, is faltering. And that's a massive problem. So here's hoping in the summer, Man United go back in, we get a centre-back. I've seen reports of us talking to Ramos. As much as a Hollywood move this is, and a dream move, you know, to have Ramos back in the squad, it's kind of like, or Ramos in the squad, it's kind of like us wanting to get Ronaldo back in the squad. Is it viable? Is it something that is going to build a future for Manchester United? The answer to that is definitely no. We need to look at young talent. We need to look at players that are ready, that want to be part of this Manchester United team, want to be part of this whole restructure. And I don't want it to come in to a point where it's so late in the restructure that Man United fall off. At the moment, we're up there, but it could be a situation towards the end of the league where fatigue kicked in, Harry Maguire got injured, who would we play at centre-back? What would we do? There is no backup, per se. Phil Jones is out and crap. Smalling's gone to Roma. You know, do we do a Liverpool? Do we play Matic at centre-back? It's a problem area and a key area that we need to look at. And I'm hoping that in the summer we strengthen that. So anyway, back to Manchester United versus Everton. I think we need to watch out for set pieces. I think we need to watch out for their DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Yerry Mina. I think we need to keep Everton away from the centre area, especially with crosses and such, and keep hold of the ball. Our midfield needs to be strong and combative. We need to make sure that the likes of Allen aren't getting on the ball and able to break up the play. We need to make sure that James Rodriguez isn't able to pick these balls out, because he'll kill the centre-backs. James Rodriguez will put a ball on a dime and literally kill these centre-backs. So we need to make sure we're closing down, we're strong. I'm expecting Scott and expecting Fred to probably start this. I haven't done a team because, again, I'm trying to rush this video out on Friday, ready for the weekend. So what I would say, or what I hope he's going to play, or what I think he's going to play, is we'll have David De Gea in net, we'll have Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, probably Victor Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. We'll have Fred and Scott sitting in the middle as always. Pogba will probably be back for this one with Bruno, Rashi, Greenwood, and Cav. I think that's 11. I might have lost it because I haven't wrote it down. However, if that's 12, then we'll just take Pogba out and just play Cav, Rashford, and Greenwood with Bruno, Scott, Fred, and then the back line and DDG in goal, which I think it works out to 11. So anyway, yes, I think Man United need to be wary of set pieces. I think we need to be strong. We need to be dominant. We need to try and put Everton away pretty quickly, because we have noticed with Everton that when they start conceding goals, their heads drop. And we're exactly the same. At the start of the season, we had to concede one to score two. Everton are exactly the same. They need to. Well, Everton are a little bit different in that respect. Is when they concede one, they will go on and concede two. They will struggle against Manchester United, and we need to make sure we don't sit back and we carry on with the high press and the football that we played against Southampton. Because at one point it was like a training game, and that everybody wanted to score. And I think that hurt some players, such as Donny, who was really trying to get on the score sheet. You could see he was really trying, but I think players were just at that point just wanting to score goals because the goals were there. Anyway, right, so hopefully we've got some new guests coming on the show. We're going to be doing some collaborative efforts with some of the guys. Big shout out to Steven Neill. Thank you very, very, very much for sorting this out and getting in touch with me through Facebook. I will be speaking to the gentleman soon, and hopefully we'll have some absolutely crazy Reds on the Back of the Internet channel. So my score prediction for tomorrow is Man United 2, Everton 1. However, I did say 2-1 against Southampton and we won 9-0. So please don't go to the bookies. Don't listen to my score predictions. I'm predicting a Manchester United win. I'm hoping for a Manchester United win. And that is me. Back in the Internet. Please like, please subscribe. Please put your comments down below. If you are watching these videos and you have comments on these videos, please leave a comment. I will read your name out and I will talk about your comment in the next video or a video in between the next warm-up. So please, thank you for all your support. I noticed we had 50 likes on the last video on one Facebook group, as well as many others. However, the views and the likes don't tally up. So please watch it. Please like. Please subscribe. Please support Back in the Internet. And it's a fan channel that can only get better with better content and your ideas and you guys letting us know what we need to do here. So as always, I'm Jay from Back in the Internet. This is the warm-up and we move. Peace.
Oh, he's walking past people! Oh my God! Come on!
One last thing, guys. Like I said, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for everything that you guys are doing at the moment. Please remember to follow us on Twitter at @BackOfTheInter1. Literally takes 2 minutes and the click is very much appreciated. If you do want to come on and you do want to talk about Manchester United, please put your name down below and the reason why you'd want to. I can set up Zoom calls as long as you've got Zoom. We can do these kind of videos, and it'd be brilliant to get your opinions from other Reds. It's my channel, but our platform. That's what I wanted to say. Back in the Internet, we move.